This video is brought to you by CatBeast.com. Design your own custom snapbacks and hats.
What is going on, guys? JD from New York here, and when I have a pen in my hand, you guys know it's going to be a serious topic of discussion. Monday Night Raw review for last night's show, July 17, 2017, where the big reveal from Kurt Angle was finally unleashed upon the WWE Universe. A reveal so catastrophic. A reveal so devastating that it was going to ruin his career. It was going to ruin his entire life. The fact that Kurt Angle, in college, had sex. Interracial sex. And had an illegitimate child. Oh my God. Oh my God. The condom was broken, Kurt. It's true. It's true. It's damn true. Are you fucking kidding me? This is the fucking, the story that's gonna break this guy's life. Are you out of your fucking minds? Is this the best that WWE Creative can come up with? I mean, I have notes here. Hopefully one of these things sticks to someone listening out there, because I sat on my couch at 3 a.m. last night taking notes about this nonsense fucking storyline that Tennessee didn't give one flying fuck about, and WWE and Vince McMahon, Tennessee, aren't they known for their mesquite hickory wood? Why are you going to Tennessee? Fucking crowd doesn't give two shits about anything that happened on that show last night. And then you want us to be excited about the big reveal. I could have went to a fucking graveyard and got a better reaction than Kurt Angle did last night. Nobody gave one single fuck about anything last night. Unless you were like Jeff or Matt Hardy, or Roman Reigns, or Braun Strowman. What was the fucking dude in the crowd? It tastes like flowers and chicken or some shit like that. What the fuck was that about? You see that fucking idiot? Just holding the sign towards the end of the show. It tastes like flowers or chicken or some shit like that. I don't know what the fuck he had written on that. What, did you walk away from the fucking cow? Did you taste test the milk before you left the farm last night? What is it with these fucking cities? I don't understand it. They didn't give one single fuck about anything on that show last night. But the big reveal is that I'm Sean's View long-lost sibling. No, I'm only kidding. Don't worry about that. But I can make nursery rhymes for you, too, just like he does. Hey, yo, honey, I'm gonna fly, and then I'm gonna cry. What? Do you want to see me die? You know I'm shy around girls, honey, you know? Oh, my. Do you have to lie about the time I said hi when I was eating that slice of rye? There you go. Anyway. That was cheesy, just like this fucking storyline. Let's talk about this storyline, man. We're going to get into all this shit. I got notes on how this could be hugely positive. I got notes on how this could be hugely fucking awful. Just there's so much going into this, man. The reveal last night was absolutely fucking one of the most underwhelming things I've ever seen on WWE television. We're going to go into all of it and how I think WWE could make the most of this, because they obviously have to follow this up. They have to follow this up. There's no way that WWE is going to leave it at that and then build Jason Jordan up through fucking comedic skits that I'm assuming they're going to do with Kurt Angle. There has to be something else. There's got to be like a fucking Jerry Springer, Maury Povich type fucking twist here that's really going to say, holy shit, what the fuck's going on? If you don't book anything that's controversial or fucking just holy shit, like what the fuck is going on here type shit, WWE might have a failure on their hands. And a lot of people are wondering, well, JD, I think Chad Gable would have been a better choice than Jason Jordan. Why do you think that? Why do you think that? Now, I was the one who thought that as well, because, Jason Jordan, really hasn't been spotlighted. Chad Gable is the one who's been clearly superior. He was the main man of that tag team. He's got the better in-ring skills. Not taking anything away from Jason Jordan, but I mean, if you're Vince McMahon, and we all know how Vince McMahon is, you know, you look at Jason Jordan and you look at Chad Gable, which one is he going to choose? You got Jason Jordan, who's fucking like, what is he, 6'3"? 6'3", big and muscular type guy, right? Probably taller than Vince McMahon. And then you got Chad Gable, who's like fucking Daniel Bryan size. Which one are you going to choose if you're Vince McMahon? Come on. That's why he chose Jason Jordan to be on Monday Night Raw and not Chad Gable. So that should automatically just be the reason right there. Oh, yeah, JD, you're right. Because Jason Jordan is more of a athlete body type that Vince McMahon says, done. Sign him. Does he like wood? You know, that's the reason why. So let's get that out of there, or let's get that notion out there immediately. But the storyline, to me, it's going to have positives. It could have positives. It could have huge fucking negatives. And we're going to go over all that plus so much more. Finn Balor got fucking destroyed last night. I want to talk about that. Samoa Joe and Roman Reigns in the main event. And whatever happened last night is exactly what I told you was going to happen. We didn't get any definitive answer about what's going on because Kurt Angle was too busy with fucking his illegitimate son. So we're going to go over all that, plus a nice segment with Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins that heavily teased a Shield reunion. So we're going to go over all that today on Monday Night Raw Review. Thank you guys so much for the support all weekend, man. Off the Script did fucking fantastic. Best numbers in a long while. I don't know what happened, but I want to thank each and every one of you guys, man. If you missed parts 1, 2, and 3 of Off the Script live on the channel right now, they will be linked in the annotation that you see within this video. Go and check them out. Show some support. Thank you guys for pledging towards the Patreon page. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. Thank you guys so much. As little as $1 a month goes a long way. Joe Cronin Show and I will be recording episode 2 of Beer Goons tonight after SmackDown. Episode 2 will be on his Patreon page, and then episode 3 will be on my Patreon page, and back and forth. Beer Goons is a Patreon exclusive now. It's going to be an all-new format, video podcast. We're going to be drinking beer. We're going to be talking shit. We're going to be talking sports, WWE, life, music, you name it, man. It's going to be a very, very down and personal podcast. It's going to be great shit. So if you guys want to pledge to either one of our Patreon pages, man, $5 a month is going to get you Beer Goons Plus. On my end, $5 a month is going to get you Off the Script Retro, which I've been kind of lax with the last couple of weeks. Because of just other things that I've been doing, other projects that I've been doing, but I'm going to try and get it out either today or tomorrow. I apologize about that. I got it half done. I just haven't had time to sit down and actually finish it. But you guys will be getting all that plus so much more with the $5 a month patron, which is Off the Script every single weekend early, and then access to my Discord chat link, which is fantastic, man. All you guys in there from Off the Script talking the hottest topics in WWE. Audible still offering you guys 30 days free. All new listeners get 30 days free of Audible service and 1 free audiobook on top of that, man. All you got to do is use our unique link. If you are a new listener to this show, you are eligible for it. If you already signed up, you can't do it again. audibletrial.com/offthescript. Make sure you guys go and check that out. 180,000 choices to choose from. Audible's giving you 1 free audiobook just for listening to this show today. audibletrial.com/offthescript. And Barbershop Window, thank you guys so much for all your support on Barbershop Window. Our coupon code is still active for 20% off. barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. Use the code JD17 at checkout for 20% off your entire purchase, man. So thank you guys so very much. Everybody that pledged, everybody that signed up for Audible, and everybody that bought a t-shirt this week for Off the Script. Follow me on Twitter at JD from NY206 and hit that subscribe button down below. We are less than 300 away from 80,000 subscribers, man. So thank you guys so much for everything. Let's talk about this Kurt Angle shit, man. One of the most underwhelming reveals I think I've ever seen in WWE. People were claiming it was Stephanie McMahon. People were claiming that it was Dixie Carter. Eric Bischoff even came out on his own show that I reported on Sunday saying that this is going to burn some bridges, but the reveal is going to be that Kurt Angle had a love affair with Dixie Carter. A lot of people are happy that it wasn't Stephanie McMahon because it keeps the authority off Monday Night Raw. But, if WWE wants to book something to get Stephanie McMahon and Triple H back on television, they could certainly do it with this new reveal of Jason Jordan and Kurt Angle. I will talk about that in just a little bit. But Eric Bischoff came out and said it was Dixie Carter. It wasn't Dixie. It wasn't Stephanie. It was the fact that Kurt Angle had an illegitimate son when he had relations with a woman in college, and he didn't know of the pregnancy or he didn't know of the child until now. So after he went on to do whatever he did in amateur wrestling, soon after that, this woman got pregnant, and this child was born. Now, to me, this storyline immediately didn't make sense, because, me, I'm not going to be one of these fucking people that, Vince McMahon deems stupid and fucking just completely retarded. I think back to when American Alpha won the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships for the first time following the brand split, and Jason Jordan was visibly seen during that match, after the match was over, after they celebrated in the ring with the Tag Team Championships, visibly seen hugging his real-life mother and father. So I know right out of the gate, this is for storyline purposes. This is not real. This is not real, okay? JD, how come not Chad Gable? Chad Gable's the much better wrestler. Chad Gable is more reminiscent of a younger Kurt Angle. Yes, I agree with you. Yes, I am totally on board with what you guys are saying. But when you look at Jason Jordan and you look at Chad Gable, like I already said in the beginning, if you're Vince McMahon and you know Vince McMahon's model and Vince McMahon's likes, which one are you going to be more gravitated towards? Jason Jordan or Chad Gable? Obviously Jason Jordan. So Chad Gable, to me, is perfect on SmackDown. SmackDown is the wrestler's brand. And that's what it's been. It's been the more wrestling-heavy show. And I want to see Chad Gable wrestle. I want to see Chad Gable against a Kevin Owens. I want to see Chad Gable against I would love to see Chad Gable versus Kurt Angle. I'd like to see Chad Gable versus a Kevin Owens, an AJ Styles, a Sami Zayn, a Shinsuke Nakamura. I'd love to see a Chad Gable versus a Ty Dillinger and a Randy Orton and guys like that. I'd like to see that. Chad Gable, to me, is 5 years. I don't know how old he is. He's probably in his like late 20s, mid 20s, late 20s. Chad Gable, you give him 4 or 5 years. Chad Gable has the ability, and Chad Gable has that makeup of a young Kurt Angle to be the number one man in the WWE. He's got a lot of those beautiful Kurt Angle tendencies. And you give him 5 years, he could easily be one of the best things in that entire company. Just give him time to flourish. The one thing I worry about now is Chad Gable going to be utilized on SmackDown Live just as Jason Jordan is going to be spotlighted on Monday Night Raw? I don't know. We've had this dilemma on SmackDown Live where, our favorites are not being used. Is he going to fall in line with the Ty Dillingers? Is he going to fall in line with the Zack Ryders and the Luke Harpers? Is he going to be sitting by catering, standing next to, Apollo Crews and Titus O'Neil? That's what we want to know. If Jason Jordan's on Monday Night Raw and Chad Gable is on SmackDown, are they going to be utilized equally? Because a lot of people coming out of this storyline, and I am, for one, fucking sick and tired of WWE breaking up tag teams. I don't know what the fuck's going on. 2015 was injury after injury after injury. 2016 was the year of suspensions. 2017 is the year of breaking up tag teams and fucking giving us multi-person matches, fatal four-ways, and fucking five-way elimination matches. And that's the formula that WWE's been going on this year. What new tag team can we break up? American Alpha has been horribly underutilized. Now, I don't know how you guys feel, but when American Alpha first won the NXT Tag Team Championships down at Full Sail University, it was a fucking monumental moment. It was a moment that I was so fucking proud of. I'm like, holy shit, I can't wait to see these guys on the fucking main roster. Then they get to the main roster, plans change daily. The Usos turning heel fucked up American Alpha's run on SmackDown Live. Because when the Usos turned heel, WWE pushed them to be the number one tag team on SmackDown Live. And American Alpha, week after week after week, just faded into obscurity. And then when they brought the New Day over, there was no way American Alpha was going to be the number one babyface team on SmackDown Live. And WWE was like, you know what, we're going to go with the two veteran teams here instead of giving the young, hungry American Alpha a chance to rise to the occasion on SmackDown Live. Horribly underutilized. You look at Chad Gable and Jason Jordan and the makeup that made American Alpha, there's no fucking way that you could fuck up that booking. They are brilliant together. And the fact that they didn't even get a taste of anything is just horribly disappointing. Somebody in WWE hates fucking tag teams, and I don't know why. Which, again, I didn't expect American Alpha to be broken up. I didn't expect to be seeing Enzo and Cass split away from one another so soon. Now we're working on the fucking Hype Bros. Mojo Rawley and Zack Ryder are going to be split away. It's going to be another tag team broken up. Why do we have 2 sets of tag team championships? Is WWE getting ready to put the division on one brand? Is the brand split coming to an end? Are we going to see tag teams floating from SmackDown to Raw and Raw to SmackDown? What the fuck is going on? This is my way of thinking here. This is the most disappointing thing about this entire angle. How could you break away American Alpha? What are you doing with the tag team division? Is there a need for 2 sets of tag team titles? Because you got 3 teams on Raw right now. That's not a division. You got the New Day, you got the Usos, and you got Breezango on SmackDown. That's 3 teams there. You know, the Colognes are hurt. The Ascension is fucking absolutely garbage. Haven't been pushed in fucking 3 years. Nobody gives a shit about the Ascension. You got the Hardys who are probably going to break away. What happens when Matt and Jeff go broken? Or you want to split Jeff away to do the Enigma Jeff Hardy. What are you going to do with Matt when he's broken? You're going to break away the Hardys. They're not going to have any tag teams left on both rosters. So what is the sense of having 2 tag teams? Are they going back and reverting the brand split? Are they moving away from the brand split? Or are the rumors about WWE having a tag team tournament next year true on the WWE Network? And they figured, you know what? Let's get all these guys broken away from one another. Let's use these pieces to build more singles guys because we see potential in these guys. We might as well get the process started early. And then we'll replenish the tag team division with the tournament next year, and things will be right back to the way they were next year with the tag team division. Same thing with the Mae Young Classic. A lot of people are going to be brought up from NXT. The Mae Young Classic is going to fill in the void down in NXT and add a nice little fucking dash here and there on SmackDown Live and Monday Night Raw. So that's the only way of me thinking about WWE breaking up tag teams. But the angle itself, though it does have negatives, I want to talk about the positives first. Okay? This is a huge spotlight on Jason Jordan. A huge spotlight. Jason Jordan now, is forced. He's forced upon the WWE Universe. The WWE cannot go back on this. You're going to align him with Kurt Angle. He pretty much has to be pushed. He's going to be forced upon the people watching. And I don't know if that's a good thing. I don't know if that's a bad thing. It's certainly a good thing because Jason Jordan's going to be working with Kurt Angle. And the things that he don't know yet, working alongside Kurt Angle, I'm pretty sure the process is going to be sped up very quickly. But if they don't go full on with this, and they do push him and he doesn't get over it, Vince McMahon's going to deem him and deem this entire thing a failure, just like everything else. So I don't know how to think about it. On one hand, it's good, but if it fails, which the way Monday Night Raw has been going, more likely than not, it will fail and it will not get over, Vince McMahon's going to deem this entire thing a failure. How are they going to build Jason Jordan up? Kurt Angle at the Hall of Fame, he's got that comedy knack about him. Back in the day, Kurt Angle was mixed in with the McMahons and the Rocks and the Austins with this beautiful fucking just comedy shtick that he did. He had that charisma about him that, he loved doing that type of shit. He loved being silly. He loved being cheesy, and it came off funny because he's got the personality for it. Are they going to build up Jason Jordan through Kurt Angle's sense of humor? Are they going to have fatherly bonding? Are they going to have these comedy skits that really make you sit down and say, yeah, that's funny? Is it going to be endearing? Is it going to get the people to laugh? Is it going to get the people to care about Jason Jordan through Kurt Angle's sense of humor? Possible. But I don't want it to be all about that. But that's definitely a way to highlight Jason Jordan's inner angle, to get that to get that charisma out of there, to get that persona out of there. If Kurt Angle could bring that out, that's a success in itself. Like I said, Angle will teach Jordan. Angle will teach Jordan whatever he knows, working alongside Kurt Angle, having him on Monday Night Raw. Jason Jordan's going to learn a lot about what he needs to do from Kurt Angle. Jordan has a great look. We already discussed that. That's why he was chosen over Chad Gable for Monday Night Raw. Jordan is more so relatable to Angle, to me, than Chad Gable is. I think there's some weird way when you look at them side by side that Jason Jordan comparison side by side to Kurt Angle could be at like a quick first glance. Oh wow, these two related? Is there something going on there? More so than Chad Gable. Now I know they're not related. I know they don't look related, but if you were to choose one over the other, I would have chose Jason Jordan as well, just based on appearance alone. Here, more so than Chad Gable. Everybody wanted Chad Gable because I guess everybody gravitates towards Chad Gable a little bit more, being that he is a younger Kurt Angle. So I would have chosen Jason Jordan based on look as well. Like I said, Gable, hopefully he succeeds on SmackDown Live, being split away from Jason Jordan. He does have the ability, if you give him time to flourish over the next 4 or 5 years, to be a top dog in that company. And I hope that WWE utilizes him just like they will be utilizing Jason Jordan on Monday Night Raw on SmackDown Live. Like I said, the crowd didn't give one single fuck about this reveal. I don't know if they were disappointed. I don't know if they didn't know who Jason Jordan was. They just didn't care. And WWE already 0 for 1, batting 0 coming out of Tennessee. Like I said, this has to succeed now that he is being paired with Kurt Angle as Jason Jordan. He has to be pushed. Jason Jordan, Chad Gable did not get the respect that they deserved as a tag team. Vince was always going to go for Jordan, like I mentioned. When they won the titles on SmackDown Live, Jordan was shown embracing his real-life parents. So, again, Vince McMahon playing with the feelings and making his fans seem retarded and idiotic. And, you know, he doesn't think they think about the past and what they've seen previously. I do. Now, like I said in the beginning, how could this ruin Kurt's career? They made a big deal about Kurt's dialogue being, I don't know if I should do this. This is going to ruin my life. This is going to ruin my career. What? You had sex. You had sex with a beautiful black woman, right? And you had a child. And the condom broke. And consequences happened. So you have an illegitimate child. So what? This is going to ruin your career. This is going to ruin your life. What you did in college. What you did when you didn't even know your wife existed. When you didn't even have a thought about having 5 children. Nobody gives a shit. This is not going to ruin your life. It's not going to ruin your career. Just based on that dialogue, it's just fucking stupid. Think about what you put on the script before you have these guys go out and say that. It's not going to ruin his life. It's not going to ruin his career. The one thing that immediately stuck out to me like a sore thumb about this is that it does not fit in with whatever WWE initiative is going on right now with their TV program. It doesn't fit. It doesn't feel like it's a fit for this era. It doesn't. To me, it feels more like an Attitude Era. It feels like a late 90s type of deal that WWE wants to go out there and kind of push the envelope a little bit. But it doesn't fit into this reality era. It doesn't fit into the modern wrestling era. This seems like a storyline that would have been booked by a Vince Russo. Bro, Kurt Angle has an illegitimate son, bro. Jason Jordan over here, bro. You know? It would have fit into the Attitude Era. But it doesn't fit into the reality era. It doesn't fit into this wrestling mantra that we're going through right now, where everybody wants to see just athleticism and full-on fucking wrestling. You know, this is one of those storylines that's kind of a throwback to what made the Attitude Era and those other eras, you know, wildly popular, but yet crazy, silly, and just cheesy at the same time, but entertaining. Will WWE have that entertainment aspect behind it? I don't know. Does Chad Gable get treated just as good on SmackDown Live? That's another question that we raised already. I hope so. I certainly hope so. Now, how does WWE go about booking this angle? Because the feeling was very underwhelming coming out of Monday Night Raw. Now, it is possible. I want to throw this out there, even though this is probably the most unlikely of the scenarios. It is possible that we get Chad Gable on Monday Night Raw by some way, and we still get American Alpha presented, and Jason Jordan can still be Kurt Angle's illegitimate son, and we get that Angle American Alpha kind of pairing that we longed for, that we originally wanted, and we could still get that by just moving Chad Gable over to Monday Night Raw by some storyline situation. And Jason Jordan can still be the illegitimate son, which in turn would make Kurt Angle their mentor. And that would be his father. So we could still get the American Alpha Kurt Angle pairing. We just don't think that is going to be likely at this point. Now, this is where my storyline juices began to flow here. Kurt Angle being that he is the GM of Monday Night Raw, everybody thought Stephanie McMahon was going to come out and reveal that he had an affair with Kurt Angle, or she had an affair with Kurt Angle, and this would have led to a match with Triple H at SummerSlam or WrestleMania, depending on how long they wanted to book this thing. This could still present a way for Stephanie McMahon to get back to Monday Night Raw. Now that Jason Jordan is Kurt Angle's illegitimate son, that comes with perks. We're going to see Jason Jordan being treated better than everybody else. We're going to see him get top spot, top billing, maybe a title shot when he doesn't deserve it over somebody else, all because he's Kurt Angle's illegitimate son. Stephanie McMahon can see this from afar, wherever she is right now. She could see this watching from home, seeing that Jason Jordan's being treated better than others. Kurt Angle's playing the GM role unfairly because he's not being fair. He's not being middle of the line. He's not being fair to everybody else. Stephanie McMahon comes in and starts overseeing Monday Night Raw. This leads to Kurt Angle's termination. And this gets the authority back on Monday Night Raw. And this gets Triple H back involved. And we can get a Kurt Angle versus Triple H type dilemma going on here, which leads to WrestleMania. God forbid, but it was the first thing that I thought about. It was the first thing I thought about because obviously being his son, he's going to get precedent over everybody else on that roster because he is his son. So that was the first thing that I thought about. Besides the American Alpha possibility and that possibility of Kurt Angle playing favorites, other things began to just pop into my head last night. What if Jason Jordan faked this entire thing? What if Jason Jordan faked this entire thing and the reveal happened, but it was really Chad Gable who was the illegitimate son? That way we get Chad Gable over to Monday Night Raw. We get Gable versus Jordan, and then this spawns off into Jordan versus Angle, with Angle putting over Jason Jordan, with Jordan being the heel. That's a possibility as well. You know, this is why I mentioned, this could be a fucking Phil Donahue or Maury Povich, Jerry Springer type deal. WWE needs to make this fucking juicy. WWE needs to make this creative now, right? What if Chad Gable was the one who is the real illegitimate son and Jason Jordan faked this entire thing to get ahead, to be better than Gable? It could lead to a feud between the two, which I wouldn't mind seeing. I think that'd be a hell of a match. Jordan turns heel, turns on his father, right? After this whole thing was faked, and then Angle puts him over in a match. It's possible. Certainly possible. Those are the three things there that I could see. Gable versus Jordan at Mania, if they want to play this out, you could do that as well. But WWE needs to make this juicy. They need to make it somewhat interesting. They can't rely on Kurt's comedy background. They can't rely on getting Jordan over in a comedic way. This has to be a serious thing. Now, I watched some of the post-interview with Renee Young. They didn't really say anything too much. They just went over the fact about how Jason Jordan found out and how proud Kurt Angle is and how this is going to be great for both of them. Whatever. Some type of bonding situation. But it's possible we get American Alpha back on Monday Night Raw. Least likely of the situations, but it is possible. Jordan could have possibly faked this entire thing. Gable being revealed, turns on Angle, does Jordan. We get Gable versus Jordan, and then Jordan versus Angle for Angle to put him over. We could get a Gable versus Jordan match at WrestleMania, or Jordan is given the perks of being Angle's son, and he's given top billing on Monday Night Raw, which leads the authority to come back and kind of step in and oversee things on Monday Night Raw again, which leads to Kurt Angle's termination. Those are the things that I thought of. If you guys can think of anything else, you let me know down below in the comments. But as far as the Angle goes, very underwhelming. There are perks, there are positives, there are negatives. Right now, I'm not seeing any of it. It's all in the follow-up. It's all in the follow-up. Will WWE follow up here and give us something that we could really invest our time in? I love seeing new superstars built up. I love seeing guys be given the chance. This is an opportunity for Jason Jordan to really be spotlighted. This is a magnificent opportunity for him to work with Kurt Angle. It really is. But will they follow through with it? History says WWE will not follow through with this. It will not lead to anything, and this will be dropped before the end of the year. And nobody will have remembered this thing. But the fact that WWE said this was going to ruin Kurt's career and Kurt's life, no. It's going to ruin our life. It's going to ruin our fucking Monday Night Raw viewing pleasure, which is already fucking skewed. But if this does not get built up to something intriguing or something juicy, like I mentioned, I keep using that word juicy, you know, like a fucking Jerry Springer soap opera on stage where you got these fucking family battles going on. Something needs to happen here. Something needs to happen here to be like, whoa, what the fuck's going on here? You know? I hope WWE has a follow-up involved, because that was very underwhelming. Incredibly, incredibly, incredibly underwhelming. But I'm going to give it a chance. I'm going to give it a chance, because I'm a big fan of both Gable and Jordan. I want to see them both succeed. I just hope that WWE knows what they're doing. I don't like that they were broken up. I don't like that they were fucking heavily underutilized as a tag team, because when you have a tag team like that, walk into your company and you don't utilize them the way that they should be utilized, it's very disappointing as a fan. They were very over in NXT. And the fact that WWE did nothing to maintain that or build upon that coming up from NXT is very disappointing. Very disappointing. I hope that WWE has a plan with the tag teams going forward, because this year is just tag teams left and right just being decimated. And I don't know why, man, because I'm a big fan of tag team wrestling. I loved when Monday Night Raw was, you know, the Raw after Mania. We seen the tag team division on Monday Night Raw. We got the Revival. We got Gallows and Anderson. We got the Hardys. We got Sheamus and Cesaro. Right? We had so many fucking teams on Monday Night Raw. It's like, holy shit. This is a good fucking tag team division. That's a competitive fucking division right there. And then Enzo and Cass were there too. Broke them all away. I don't get it. Same thing with SmackDown Live. It's like, what are you guys doing? What are you guys doing? It's like they don't know what they're doing day to day. And now American Alpha being broken up, to me, it's like, all right, man, enough is enough. Enough is enough. Nobody's making a big deal about American Alpha being broken away or split from one another. And if that is the case and you're putting Jordan on Raw next to Angle and Gable on SmackDown, you have to do something with these guys. They're too talented to just sit and just waste away. Especially Gable. Gable's got nothing going for him on SmackDown. He had a match with Owens and he had a match with Styles. Great. But just based on that fact alone, I want to see more of him. And hopefully they do showcase him more. Jordan's going to be forced to be showcased because he's there with the GM. Where does Corey Graves fit into all this? You know? That wasn't revealed. Where did he get the text messages from? Who sent Corey Graves the text messages? How did Corey Graves find out? You know? It's just left open. And it's just, you know, logic gaps, as always with WWE. And I hope that they make sense of it. Like I said, it's all in the follow-up. But moving away from the Kurt Angle situation with Jason Jordan, let's talk about the Roman Reigns situation. Roman Reigns and Samoa Joe had a match last night, number one contendership in the main event. The winner goes on to fight Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. What happened here was we got a very good match between Roman Reigns and Samoa Joe. But Braun Strowman's music hit towards the ending of this match. Crowd was chanting, "This is awesome." Everybody was happy to see Strowman. Strowman came out with bandages on his arm and tape on his shoulder and elbow, and he looked the part. He looked the part, kind of, somewhat. And I don't know if you're in a fucking ambulance accident, if you would even be fucking walking with a straight walk. Guy wasn't limping or whatever, but this is WWE. I don't expect them to just go all out and just have Strowman limping to the ring. I would have liked to seen him limping and still give Roman Reigns and Samoa Joe a beating, but I knew this was going to happen. Braun Strowman made this into a no contest. We got no answers this week yet anyway about what's happening with SummerSlam. Strowman came in and power slammed Roman Reigns and Samoa Joe, did Strowman. Left everybody laying waste. Referees and officials tried to come out and stop him. They all backed away in fear. And then Braun Strowman eventually left the ring after his body slamming and power slamming both Joe and Roman Reigns. So this is leading to exactly what I've been stating. This is going to lead to a fatal four-way. There's no way now you're going to leave Braun Strowman out of this match. And I said this time and time again. Strowman was always going to be meant to be interfering in this match. There was no way he was going to follow last week's beautiful segment with Reigns and Lesnar and Joe and Kurt Angle and Heyman. There was no way that Strowman was going to sit back and say, all right, you know what, guys, I'm in the ambulance. I got fucked up. I'm not going to be at SummerSlam. No. Strowman was always going to interfere in that match. Samoa Joe was always going to be in the main event. He proved to you that he belonged in the main event with the build leading up to Great Balls of Fire, and then that promo last week with Brock Lesnar, there was no way you were going to leave Samoa Joe out of the main event of SummerSlam. There's no way you're not going to book a fatal four-way. It's not going to be a one-on-one. Clearly, it's not going to be a one-on-one. It's not going to be a triple threat. So get the idea of a triple threat out of your minds. It's not going to be one less man. All four of these men have a situation going on, and the only thing that makes sense right now is a fatal four-way for the WWE Universal Championship. There's no way. So it's going to be Strowman, Lesnar, Reigns, and Joe at SummerSlam. That is the best possible situation to book for the main event of SummerSlam. There's no other way around it. If WWE does not book a fatal four-way, it will be a devastating fucking failure. You need a fatal four-way. I did like the interaction last night. We did see the first ever interaction between Joe and Strowman. Strowman clotheslined the fuck out of Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe had to get the coquina clutch on Braun Strowman by using the second turnbuckle, which he did. And that was quickly broken up because Braun Strowman power slammed everybody into oblivion. So that was that. There's no way you are not going to book a fatal four-way. That's it. The line in the sand is drawn. Fatal four-way for the WWE Universal Championship. If WWE doesn't go through with it, it is a colossal fucking failure. The other thing that happened on Monday Night Raw that I want to talk about before we get into the other non-important shit, I want to talk about Finn Balor and Elias Samson. Now, I don't mind these two going at it one-on-one on Monday Night Raw. I like this little mini feud. That's what Monday Night Raw is for. You know, Monday Night Raw seems to be doing some things that are like, ooh, okay. You got a little mini feud going on here with Elias Samson and Finn Balor, but you're building towards a bigger picture. Now, I don't understand why Bray Wyatt comes into play here. I really don't. Where does Bray Wyatt fit into Finn Balor's, business? Again, I don't even know why Bray Wyatt fit into Seth Rollins' business. At this point, I don't even know why they fought. All I know is that Bray Wyatt got two clear-cut, decisive victories over Seth Rollins, and Seth Rollins moved on. So that was it. It was a way, I guess, to build Bray Wyatt back up after being treated like garbage. But where does Bray Wyatt fit into all this now? I understand Finn Balor's got a little mini feud with Elias Samson, but Bray Wyatt comes out and says whatever, and that was it. So Bray Wyatt shows up on the big screen. He tells Balor that, listen, I know you weren't expecting this. He said he likes seeing the look on Balor's face. He said he has feelings just like everyone else in this sea of humanity. Bray says he lives for the look of pain and suffering. He says it ignites the fire in his soul, and his soul is thirsty and ravenous. He said he feels the need to put him in pain and agony and punish him. He says this isn't a myth. He says he's Balor's worst nightmare and the eye of the storm. So the best part is he's going to enjoy every second of it. So again, I don't know. I guess Bray Wyatt, to me, every fucking feud, he just interjects himself and he finds something to hang on to, and he just beats to the fucking beat of his own drum. I don't get it. I still don't, after that explanation, I don't know why they're fighting. I don't know why Bray Wyatt is getting involved. But the feud with Elias Samson, it's a little mini feud to keep Balor busy. Obviously we're getting a Finn Balor versus Bray Wyatt feud that's going to culminate at SummerSlam, or at least go into SummerSlam and then probably continue on into the next pay-per-view. But the thing here with Finn Balor is, and this is, I don't know if this is a mistake on Elias Samson's part. I don't know if this is a mistake on Finn Balor's part. But I was under the impression, and I really was. I know I read this or heard this somewhere. I was under the impression that WWE had banned overhead guitar shots. I seriously, honestly thought. Now, what we seen last night was Balor missile dropkick Elias Samson into oblivion, right into the steel barricade. So Elias Samson says, you know what, fuck this shit, grabs his guitar, and he nails Finn Balor so hard with the guitar over his fucking head that he busts open Finn Balor, and he's got a huge fucking gash right on the left side of his head, bleeding profusely. Referees come over, they start wiping him down. Balor looks completely out of it. I thought he suffered another fucking concussion. I thought he suffered a concussion based on the attack of Elias Samson. Now, I loved it. I thought it was great. WWE replayed it over and over and over again. It didn't look it didn't look less brutal. It actually got more brutal every time they showed it. Because you've seen somebody fuck up somewhere. Elias Sampson should have hit Balor over the head with the middle of the guitar over the head. Because you know how those guitars are made of nothing. It's like fucking cardboard. You know? Should have nailed him over the head with it, with the body of the guitar, not the fucking rough edges of the guitar that are able to cut through skin. That was where that fuck up happened. Balor looked like he tried to get his arm up, but couldn't in time, or he just mistimed the attack, and it nailed him right over the head. Balor didn't cover his head. He only covered his body and his shoulder. Meanwhile, the edge of the guitar, the body of the guitar, the ridges of the guitar, nailed Balor right in the fucking head, busted him open. So somebody fucked up somewhere. It was either on Elias Sampson. You could probably say both of them fucked up. Balor didn't get his arms up in time to prevent the fucking headshot, and Sampson must have completely mistimed the hit and swung the guitar, not the way he should have. But I was under the assumption that guitar shots were being banned, especially to the head. But it was a fucking brutal, brutal guitar shot. Definitely the best part of that match. But Finn Balor gets up, referees wiped him clean. You still seen the visible cut on his head, look brutal. Then Bray Wyatt comes out and says that he wants him to feel pain and agony. So it looks like we're getting Finn Balor versus Bray Wyatt, which could be a very good SummerSlam undercard match if built up properly. I don't know what they're going to be building the match off of, and I don't know where Elias Sampson goes from here, but looks like we're getting Balor versus Wyatt, like the rumors were true. WWE said that, or at least the rumors said that WWE was going to go through with this at Great Balls of Fire. WWE pushed it back. I guess they wanted it for SummerSlam instead of at a B-level Monday Night Raw pay-per-view. But Finn Balor wins by disqualification because of the guitar shot. Next week, we're going to get a no disqualification match between Balor and Elias Sampson on Monday Night Raw, which should be the end of that feud, and then Balor can move on to Bray Wyatt and build towards his SummerSlam match. Matt and Jeff Hardy versus The Revival, two of the only remaining tag teams outside the club on Monday Night Raw. Don't know even why you have a division at this point. I was kind of disappointed to see this match so soon. We didn't see any of Sheamus and Cesaro on this show. Matt and Jeff were pretty much beaten down through most of this match. Matt's legs were being just destroyed in this match. The Revival focused on that one body part until Jeff made the hot tag, twist of fate for a near fall. That was broken up by Dash. Matt then goes to Jeff to launch him. Whisper in the wind. Dash went to the top rope when Jeff set up for the Swanton, pushed Jeff off, and then I guess Dawson seen Jeff fall off the turnbuckle, went for the pin, hooked the tights, 1, 2, 3. The Revival win. They beat Matt and Jeff Hardy. Matt and Jeff Hardy have been on a losing streak. If their losses as of late, if their losses accumulating as of late don't add up to something, man, I don't know what to tell you. Because Matt and Jeff, they came into WWE like a house on fucking fire. They won everything. They won every match that they were in, singles or tag team. Now they're on a losing streak. You know that the broken gimmick is or should be at least on its way. It should be on its way because Matt and Jeff are not losing for any particular reason. Their reason for losing is because they are going to dig deeper. They have to find another outlet to come back and be even stronger and be that tag team that we know that they could be. It looks like they are going broken because I don't know why they would be losing all these matches each and every single week. If last week wasn't any indication, Jeff saying that we should have been classified as obsolete, Matt saying that we're broken, we're not broken yet, or some shit along those lines. Their losses that are accumulating week to week should be another huge indication that we will be getting the broken gimmick sooner rather than later. But the Revival beats Matt and Jeff Hardy last night. Again, Tennessee sucks. The Revival are probably one of the best tag teams in the world, and they didn't receive any type of respectable, emotion from the crowd. It was just fucking dead. It was boring. Crowd didn't give a shit about them. That's what happens when you go to these fucking rinky-dink towns in Tennessee. We got the Cruiserweights, man. The Cruiserweights are becoming get-off-my-TV worthy. I don't really give a shit about anything with the Cruiserweights. Akira Tozawa versus Daivari. Nobody gave a shit. Daivari hit his 450 reverse on, no, not Daivari. I'm talking about fucking, what's his name? There was another fucking cruiserweight match. Mustafa Ali. Mustafa Ali hits the reverse 450, and he teamed with Gentleman Jack Gallagher versus Drew Gulak and Brian Kendrick. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody gives a shit whatsoever. The other cruiserweight match was Akira Tozawa with Titus O'Neil versus Daivari. Titus O'Neil kind of told the referee to ring the bell because Akira Tozawa hurt his shoulder in the match, and he didn't want his representative to be injured any further, so Titus O'Neil thought he was doing a good thing by stopping the match. Meanwhile, Akira Tozawa was screaming that I didn't give up, why are you stopping the match, you don't care about me. Storylines that I just don't fucking care about, man. The cruiserweights are being presented like the same shit that we see on Monday Night Raw. Meanwhile, I want to see these guys fly, I want to see these guys have their own identity. I don't want to see any storylines between these guys. I want to see cruiserweight versus cruiserweight. I want to see high-flying action. I want to see the crowd getting involved. I want to see the crowd being invested in these guys. I want to see the crowd caring. Right now, being that you're doing the same thing that everybody else is doing on Monday Night Raw with the cruiserweights, you're not making them stand out. You're just blending them in with the rest of the fucking garbage on Monday Night Raw, and it's not standing on its own 2 feet. I don't know how many times I have to explain this to you. The cruiserweights are garbage. Nobody cares. Akira Tozawa, Daivari, you got Mustafa Ali, Drew Gulak, Jack Gallagher, who should be on the fucking UK show. I would rather see him on the UK show than the fucking cruiserweights. He ain't doing shit. He ain't doing shit. None of these guys are doing shit. The cruiserweight division on Monday nights, to me, is fast-forward type material. I don't care. I just don't care. Anything that these guys do, and any way that you present these guys on Monday Night Raw, has not gotten me to get to watch 205 Live. It's not going to get me to watch 205 Live, and it's never going to get me to watch 205 Live. I just don't care. I'm not even going to talk about these guys anymore. I'm just going to fucking say, you know what? Yeah, these guys won. Goodbye. Over. Bayley and Alexa Bliss. We got Bayley versus Alexa Bliss here. WWE building up. Bayley, again, it looks like she pinned Alexa Bliss with interference from Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks interfered. Instead of rolling up Alexa Bliss, Bayley did hit the Bayley to belly for the win. Banks hugged Bayley afterwards as a thank you. And now Michael Cole has been stating that Bayley has to be in conversation for a title match, being that she pinned Alexa Bliss. Yes, that's the way it goes. The same Alexa Bliss that he called Little Swiss Miss, Michael Cole. Is she selling hot chocolate on the side? I'll take extra marshmallow, you fucking asshole. Are you fucking kidding me? Michael Cole was off last night. Little Swiss Miss. Little Swiss Bliss. Whatever the fuck he said. And Corey Graves, it's Little Miss Bliss, Cole. Fucking retards, man. Bayley being built up again. Now she's in conversation for a title shot. Bayley wants Alexa Bliss at SummerSlam. Sasha Banks says, listen, I didn't get my rematch. Alexa Bliss ran away from me. You know, she was a coward. She took the easy way out by counting herself out intentionally. So Kurt Angle's like, you know what? We're going to find a number one contender for SummerSlam. It's going to be Bayley versus Sasha next week on Monday Night Raw. There you go. There you go. And based on that, I'm actually excited to see that. I'd like to see that. Hopefully they give them enough time to kind of somewhat recreate the magic that I know these two women have together. And you know what else Monday Night Raw did good last night? They actually built towards next week's show. They gave you Elias Sampson versus Finn Balor in a no DQ match. That was promoted, right? The Kurt Angle thing still ongoing with Jason Jordan. That's going to be promoted. We're going to find out more about that, right? We got the Shield possible reunion, which I'll talk about in a second to end this review. We got Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose requesting a match against the entire Miz Taraj 3-on-2. That's being built up for next week. We got the Braun Strowman shit for next week. Monday Night Raw built towards next week's show, and I haven't seen them do that in months. So I'm like, okay, they're taking a page out of SmackDown's book. They're building next week's show on this week's program. So we have Monday Night Raw pretty much laid out for next week. So you can decide whether, you know what, I want to see that. I'll tune in next week to see that. Or I really don't give a shit. I really don't give a shit. So that's you know, I was thinking about that, and that was the first sign of things to come, because they announced that. They announced the Balor Samson thing. They announced the Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose versus the Miz Taraj thing. I'm like, okay, I could get down with that. I respect that. So I like where WWE was headed with Monday Night Raw last night into next week's show. It gives you a glimpse as to what they're going to do next week, and that's the way they should be building these shows each and every week. But Bayley and Sasha Banks will be going one-on-one. To me, I think Sasha Banks versus Alexa Bliss at least needs to be one more time. Do not go the Fatal 4-Way route. Do not give us another multi-person match. We're definitely getting a multi-person match for the Universal Championship. There's no reason to include everybody in the division in one match because you have only 4 women in the division and you want to feature everybody. No, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. So I'm excited for it. I can't wait to see it. It should present itself to be a competitive match between Bayley and Sasha Banks. Finally, guys, I want to talk about this Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose situation. Seems like WWE is teasing more and more of a possible Shield reunion, which would be great for a one-off. You know, WWE sees their ratings and their audience dwindling every week. The fans are hungry and thirsty for a Shield reunion. Believe me, they are. It just needs to fit into WWE storyline. You're not going to bring the Shield back for the fucking Miztourage. Not going to work. You need to bring the Shield back to battle a just as big stable. Balor Club, like I pitched about 4 months ago. Balor heel, Gallows, Anderson, who are doing absolutely fucking nothing. I mean, they're dwindled down to taste testers for Titus Catering. Titus Catering Worldwide! The fuck are they doing? Anyway, you're not going to bring the Shield back. You're not going to be talking about the Shield to be going up against the fucking Miztourage. That's a waste. So I don't know why Dean and Miz still are feuding. This is WWE's way of actually making this interesting because this feud is dead and buried. So we got Seth Rollins now interjecting himself into this and helping Dean, who doesn't want any help. Right? So Dean is out saying that he wants to pretty much break the Miz. He's going to send him back to the real world. He's going to burst his Hollywood bubble. He's got a steel chair, coincidentally, in hand. And all of a sudden, Seth Rollins comes out to interrupt Dean Ambrose, telling Dean Ambrose that he cannot fight a battle alone that he will not win and has not won. So he's offering help. And then Seth Rollins says the word brother. And this is what sets Dean Ambrose off. You ain't no brother to me. The brothers that I knew had my back. They loved me. They fought in the trenches. We fought for all the common good. You're not no brother to me. I don't know what you are. I knew a man that looked just like you years ago, but I don't know who you are, says Dean Ambrose. So Seth Rollins then gets fucking agitated. He gets pissed at him. He's like, listen, this was 3 years ago. This was 3 years ago. I have lived with this moment. I live with that moment every day of my life for the last 3 years. You know? That was then. This is now. So he says, you know what? You want to get it out of your fucking system? You got the steel chair. Seth Rollins turns his back on Dean Ambrose and offers to just have Dean Ambrose hit him. You want to get it out of your system? Huh? You want to hit me? Hit me as many times as you want. So the crowd's going crazy at this point. Dean Ambrose says, you know what? Fuck it. He throws the chair away. The steel chair that he had in hand, he just throws it out of the ring. All of a sudden, The Miz comes in, interrupts with the Miztourage. Curtis Axel looking fucking mighty fine in that nice suit, bro. I don't know what fucking Bo Dallas is dressed as. I don't know if he's trying to fucking role play as the Sons of Anarchy. I don't know what the fuck's going on with him. But they both look good. They both look good standing next to The Miz. That was the first impression I got. I'm like, these guys fit. These guys fit next to The Miz. I'm liking what's going on here. But a Shield reunion against the Miztourage? No. Sorry. So the Miztourage gets one over on the former Shield buddies, Rollins and Ambrose. The steel chair that was conveniently thrown out of the ring by Dean Ambrose is picked up by The Miz, and both Rollins and Ambrose get beaten to hell by the Miztourage. You got Axel and Dallas taking care of Rollins in the ring. Dean Ambrose is being fucking decimated with the steel chair on the outside by The Miz. All this leads to a 3-on-2 handicap match next week, which Dean Ambrose is like, listen, we want the Miztourage. So Angle's like, okay, you get any 2 members of the Miztourage next week on Monday Night Raw in a tag team match. Both of you guys versus the Miztourage. Any 2 members. Any 2 members you want. And then Dean Ambrose is like, any 2? Why don't you just give us all 3? like a fucking badass, right? Like Mr. Badass Lunatic Dean Ambrose. So we got a 3-on-2 handicap match next week, which is fine. Which is fine because I thought that was going to be the match for SummerSlam. Thank God. Now, we could still probably get that at SummerSlam. Maybe the IC title be on the line. But the bigger thing here is WWE is teasing a Shield reunion. It's not going to be against the Miz Taraj. It's going to be for something greater on down the line. Hopefully it works, and hopefully it makes sense. But they are teasing it. They're not going to be dropping Shield references 3 weeks in a row if WWE doesn't have an idea of, you know what, the Shield is coming back. But the other thing here is, and I want to make sure you guys are aware of this, it seems like the Intercontinental Championship has been taken for granted. You know, the Miz is the Intercontinental Champion. It seems to have taken a back seat to all this Rollins-Ambrose bickering and then the Miz-Taraj bullshit and getting one over on the former Shield guys. It seems like the IC title has taken a back seat. Doesn't need to be, man. It shouldn't be. Now, if you want the Intercontinental Championship on the line at SummerSlam, I don't know how you get there. Because Dallas and Axel, it seems like they'll be involved in SummerSlam in some way. I don't know if they're going to have an actual match, but at least they're going to be on the show. I'm thinking, and I've vehemently said, I don't want a triple threat match or multi-person matches outside of the Universal Championship. I don't. Because WWE, that's their cheap way out of getting everybody on the show. I don't want it. It's not necessary. But for this, I would take it. I would have Rollins, Ambrose, and The Miz in a triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship. I would have Rollins mindset focus on the Intercontinental Championship, but keeping that friendliness with Dean Ambrose intact. I like that Dean Ambrose is a little bit hesitant here. I like the fact that Dean Ambrose is not going to trust Seth Rollins at all after what he did. But I like the fact and I like the storyline of Seth Rollins being a babyface, working hard, and having Dean Ambrose trust him. So when they eventually come together, it's going to be a big deal. But for now, the friendly back and forth, Rollins working to, get Ambrose on his side and trust him again, all while battling out for the Intercontinental Championship, fine. But make the Intercontinental Championship mean something. Don't keep it in the spotlight. Don't keep it in the backdrop. Put it in the spotlight and highlight it going into SummerSlam. Because right now, the talk of the Shield is more important than the Intercontinental Championship, and that's not the way it should be. And I mentioned getting the title on a babyface. I mentioned Finn Balor and The Miz for SummerSlam in my fantasy booking. I would not mind if Seth Rollins replaced Finn Balor in my fantasy booking, as long as a hard-working babyface champion is the Intercontinental Champion. I could see Seth Rollins in that role. I could see good feuds coming out of a Seth Rollins IC title reign. I really could. And the first one would be, I would have Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. Now, you could do that babyface versus babyface. You can make that competitive over the Intercontinental Championship. You could even tease Dean Ambrose turning heel, which is probably necessary. But then we won't be getting the Shield reunion if Dean Ambrose turns heel and battles for the Intercontinental Championship against a babyface Seth Rollins. But the ideas are there. The ideas are there if WWE wants to do them. I just don't want the Intercontinental title to be taken for granted. I don't want it to have a back seat to all this Shield talk and the Miz Taraj getting one over on the former Shield guys. I don't want that. So I would not be against an idea of Miz, Rollins, and Ambrose for the Intercontinental Championship at SummerSlam. I think that would actually work very nicely and would be the only other multi-person match I would accept at SummerSlam. And that's it. But I like the dynamic with Ambrose and Rollins. I like the fact that Ambrose does not trust Seth Rollins at all. I like the fact that Seth Rollins is working and going to go to the lengths to have Dean Ambrose trust him. I'm not the same Seth Rollins I was 3 years ago, bro. I made a mistake. I've lived with it every day since that day. You want to fucking hit me? Get it out of your system. I'm here to help you. I like that dynamic. And when they come together, it's going to be better off for it. And maybe we get a Shield reunion, because right now it's not going to happen. Roman Reigns is mixed in with Strowman, Lesnar, Joe, Universal Championship. Not going to happen yet. You need a fucking bombshell to happen on Monday Night Raw. You need Balor to turn heel. You need the Balor Club there fucking doing what they did in Japan on Monday Night Raw. You need fucking chaos. You need a Nexus-style fucking overtaking of Monday Night Raw for a little bit for the Shield to come back and say, bro, We gotta get back together. We gotta get the band back together. The Hounds of Justice gotta be unleashed on the fucking WWE Universe on Monday Night Raw. We gotta stop these guys. And that would lead to fucking great matches. It could be at Survivor Series. It could be fucking War Games. It could be WrestleMania if you want. You got the pieces. You got the storylines. You got the fucking shit there. Let's do it. And the matches that could come out of that. I mean, give me a break. It's fucking writes itself. Be creative with it. Hopefully WWE knows what they're doing, but I think we're going to see a Shield reunion sooner rather than later, but not right now. Not until Roman's done in the main event scene, which I don't even think he needs to be in after SummerSlam. I think you use Roman as like a fourth wheel here, and you get Joe the Universal Championship, and you build towards whatever you're building towards Joe. Or with Joe. But I like the dynamic between Rollins and Ambrose. I say IC title triple threat at SummerSlam. But next week, we got a handicap match, 3-on-2. You got the Shield Boys versus the Miztourage. And I mentioned it already. I like the fact that WWE set up most of the show this week for next week. Very, very good shit. But that's Monday Night Raw, man. That's your review. If you enjoyed it, hit that thumbs up. Follow me on Twitter, at JD from NY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. I'll be streaming Destiny in a little bit. Destiny 2 Beta live on the PS4. And I will be back with more wrestling content. I got SmackDown Live review tonight. It will be happening after the show goes off the air. I got more Fire Pro Wrestling. I got the entire tournament laid out. We're going to be doing commentary over the tournament, man. Fire Pro Wrestling coming to the channel. Make sure you guys watch that. The Off the Script Classic Tournament. 16 of the world's best fighting for the #1 contendership for my newly created Off the Script Heavyweight Championship, man. Gonna be fun. Gonna be some fun stuff, man. So thank you guys so much. Hit that thumbs up, and I will see you later today for SmackDown Live and this afternoon on Twitch for Destiny 2's beta with the guys. I'll talk to you later.